Call this joint meeting to order. I'm Tom Taylor. I'm Chairman of the Board of Commissioners for Central Mason Fire and EMS. It's my dubious honor to chair this joint meeting. And a good job on doing it. There's a guy that knows from business. We're going to start off. We're going to have Clint, you want to introduce your commissioners?
Yeah, my name is Clint Volk, Fire Chief of District 6. I'd like to introduce Commissioner Mike Sheets, Commissioner Richard Einer, Commissioner Tim Whitman.
Timber Current Central Mason Fire, Commissioner Del Griffey. Tom Taylor introduced himself, Commissioner Tom Devers. Yeah, hold on, Tom.
I'm Gwen Especially from Mason 11. I have Commissioner Dave O'Shea for the chair, Commissioner Kelly Frazier, and Commissioner Dan Moore.
I'm Mike Caddy, I'm Deputy Chief Fire Marshal for Central Mason Fire.
The franchise, ladies and gentlemen, the franchise.
On our agenda, we're going to have a presentation at ILA and have some discussion to follow. Before we start, though, just anybody baseball fan?
Yeah.
Cubs fan? Here's your UBI. You know what a UBI is? It's a useless bit of information. How long has it been since the Cubs won?
47.
108 years since they won.
1908.
Oh, 19.
1908.
1908. 108 years.
Indians 1947. 48.
Anybody know how many stitches are on a baseball?
Good question.
108.
Nice.
It's just a useless bit of information. We're going to go ahead and start this ILA presentation. Clint, it's all yours, really.
Appreciate
We're
it.
going to turn our backs to you so we can see it also. So.
Everybody that knows me and all my weaknesses has made me promise not to keep it straight till 9. Because I thought that I got paid by the word, but apparently I did not get paid by the word, so I can slow this or speed this up a little bit. Appreciate everybody coming out. Mason County is no stranger to interlocal agreements. We are a little behind other counties in how far we've taken our interlocal agreements. For example, Fire District 6 and Fire District 11 had an interlocal agreement, incredibly successful one that ran about a term of 3 years. Through that process, we developed relationships with District 11 that fostered the ability for us to start this discussion with Central Mason on win-win scenarios. Everything we're going to talk about today is based on win-win scenarios across the board. Why do we need partnerships? As we speak of all the time, all the fire districts in Mason County currently operate with heavy dependence on mutual aid agreements to meet the current RCW mandates for emergency response. Every fire district in Mason County or regional fire authority, as the needs arise, have to call in outside resources to fulfill the mandated operational positions that the state law makes us live by. Our rapid intervention teams, our safety officers, our staging officers, our water supply officers, our frontline firefighters, all of that stuff, each one of our fire districts is struggling to make that happen at every incident with on-shift resources. It is a fact that every fire district in Mason County has holes in their program that a neighboring district can assist in filling, and currently we do that on a very social level. When people have issues they need help with, neighboring fire districts fill in those needs until a permanent or long-term solution is identified. With the universal goal of better service to our citizens being paramount, we are charged with the mission to always ask, is there a better way? And Mason County has done a very, very good job of that in the last 10 years in finding those better ways. So, what is different this time around? I'm talking about these interlocal agreements. We're not new to this. What's different? Central Mason, Mason 11, Mason 6 have developed what we consider a new model that strips away the fear of the we might lose something mentality, unites all district leadership, and paves the road for significant progress in the future. The fire districts in Mason County have shown many times over that the future is in partnerships. Strong characters and politics have defeated these partnerships in the past. And normally the strong characters look a lot like this. Maybe not this one, but fire chief can get in the way, local politics can get in the way, or fear can get in the way. Those things have inhibited us from taking those next steps that I think Mason County is primed for. The new model, new to us model. This model has been around quite some time. Develop an interlocal agreement that protects all involved. If we can strip away the fear through the interlocal agreement, and everybody feels protected in the partnerships, that paves the way for unprecedented cooperation. Develop a corporation-like mentality as it pertains to the involved districts. Mason 6, 11, and 11 operating as Mason 6 and 11, but being proud members of Central Mason Fire and EMS. The way I've been talking about it is Central Mason Fire and EMS will look a lot like the federal government. And we are in the United States of America. District 6 would be the state of Washington. District 11 would be which big state? State of Oregon. Good. Actually, state of Idaho for sure. State of Idaho for sure. I wasn't fast enough. I guess I could pause and go back to that. We're working with the federal government to create a new future, but we're operating as Fire District 6 in the Central Mason family. Cooperative efforts, trust, loyalty. What we think that's going to bring is we're going to consolidate the district's executives into one executive committee, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We're going to develop cooperative programs, opportunities that benefit all involved. If it's not a win for everybody, it really isn't a fit in our program. Pave the way for future fire districts to join the Central Mason team. Our format explained a little further. The format that we've chosen is an open-ended format. Our interlocal agreement can get as big as we want it to get, or stay as small as we want it need it to be. Each cooperative program opportunity will be adopted into the interlocal agreement as a standalone exhibit. This allows for superior flexibility in managing the ILA and adding to it as we see fit. So if we find programs that all three boards deem a win for their organization, they can be adopted to our interlocal agreement as an exhibit. We don't have to reopen the entire agreement. We don't have to pay legal review to review the entire agreement. It's an exhibit that plugs in. We pirated that from the Mason 11, Mason 6 agreement, where Brian Stewart developed that format for us. And so we continued on in this new partnership. Any and all joint business must be approved by all three boards before being enacted. If the chiefs decide that Clint Bulk should be supreme leader of the Allied Force, which I would say, all three boards have to adopt that piece of business as a win-win. If it is not adopted by all three boards, then that joint business will be voided. There is your protection, right there. Every district maintains their political leadership, their executive leadership, and the protection of doing business as their entity in protecting their citizens. This is what I feel puts this agreement a little ahead of the ones we've seen in the past, is we're not trying to immediately downsize in an effort to show efficiency. We're going to stay our normal size and to show stability through joint effort. Because I think a lot of times the challenge is when we try to get too much efficiency too fast, things get lost in it. Our board staying in play makes sure every neighborhood, every fire district is represented appropriately. As you can see, our format is one that stresses unity and loyalty. This only goes as far as our trust goes with each other. This format will yield strong relationships and will produce significant win-win scenarios for all involved. I will now introduce our Fire Chief Tim McKern and our Executive Chair of our Executive Committee. Chief McKern.
Evening. So this process, I know we moved fairly rapidly, and it's been exciting by all means. The executive committee, as you see there, makes up the four of us that are there. We have been a number of times. There has been somebody from each board has been at our executive meetings. We meet every Wednesday morning at 8:30. We're certainly open to anyone coming in there. But as it says there, the scope is basically everything is done through the executive committee. So far, it's been fantastic. And even our meeting yesterday, I think, went a little longer, and I think we continued into a meeting after a meeting. And we chief back, so we'll send you back home immediately when we need to. So all business is conducted that way. It's been working great, and we actually, amongst ourselves, worked through that. One change we did make was that Central added a secretary to it, because it's unfair to have one of our folks trying to take minutes, and so Central has offered a secretary to come in and take the minutes that we did there. But so far, the executive committee has worked perfectly. We've had folks come in and out. We have folks in the bargaining unit. Casey Whitehouse has been a rep from our local, has been at all the meetings, pretty much most of them, and it's worked very, very well through the executive committee.
Taking our executives, putting them in one meeting, coming up with consensus solutions to our problems. Nothing leaves the committee without the 4 chiefs that are in it, which are Chief Tim is our chair, Chief Searles, Deputy Chief Patty, and myself sit on that talking about the challenges, and what's coming out of this is a product that every chief feels represents the district's needs and the win for all. Kind of groundbreaking stuff there in my opinion in regards to this. Now I would like to introduce Deputy Chief Mike Patty to discuss our Joint Fire Investigation Task Force and Exhibit B.
Good evening. When I came to the county in July of 2011, the county chiefs and Mason County Community Development was in the midst of creating an ILA to ensure that any significant structure fires were investigated for the requirements of the RCWs. And it's worked out fairly well. We've got 3, what they call Tier 3, which is certified fire investigators in the county. And anytime we have a significant structure fire or a fire that meets the call-out criteria, usually one of the 3 of us are available to hit those fires and work them. What we determined was going to be one of the first things that we needed to put into this project was to sharpen up our skills and make sure we had a fire investigator or a task force available for the Central Mason group of District 6, District 11, and Central Mason. I'm one of the CFIs in the county, and Captain Heinrich is also a CFI, so 2 of the 3 of us are already in this work group. Having the 2 of the 3 of us will hopefully ensure that we'll take care of home. We're going to make sure that the investigations are done the way we see the need for it, instead of just kind of being done as convenient. We'll make sure that the reports are being done the way they need to be taken care of, and to make sure we keep our bosses out of jail. That's basically what it comes down to. Anybody have any questions about the fire investigation of this? Who's the third? The third one's Jeremy Hicks, the North Mason Regional Fire Authority. And he'll still be available if in the intent that Captain Henry or I aren't available, but right now the intent is to build up a big cadre of Tier 2s, and if we can call up a third Tier 3, that will work.
Okay, Jim, what you get right to you to fleet maintenance and repair also.
Okay, Central Mason employs 2 certified mechanics in our maintenance facility at Station 5-3. District 11 already employs our folks to do preventive maintenance on their apparatus, and we've discussed the potential for bringing District 6's fleet in to work also. That will ensure that everybody's fleet is being worked on in a standard way, trying to keep fleet costs down, supplies costs down, keep the apparatus breakdowns, repairs to a minimum. Anything else?
We really try to keep this to what I can call low-lying fruit, things that we've already participated together in the past for momentum. I think the framework was in place. The executive committee really was the newest idea, and a credit to Chief McKern when we pitched this. Chief Searles and I pitched it to the chief and the deputy chief on saying, I am willing to try anything that can bring Mason County together and show efficiencies to all 3 districts. Our training program, this one Mason County is absolutely the best at. Mason County does very, very well in collaborating on their training. Through the Mason County Fire Chiefs, we have a joint recruit school, we have a joint training committee that puts on independent courses throughout the year. Also, Mason County is a very polished history in cooperating in training. Here, we just maintain that within the 3 districts with the opportunity to, if the executive committee sees fit, establishing a sub-training committee where operationally we can bring in our subject matter professionals to map out the future of our training needs and how we're going to deliver them. District 6 and District 11 already have seen a huge win in joining into this group with the Target Solutions program that Central Mason is currently utilizing and has allowed us the advantages of joining in with them. It's an incredibly sophisticated program that has probably the best accountability pieces I've ever seen in the fire service training model on making sure we're staying up on our state mandated trainings and we don't fall behind on our mandatory items, on our skill sets. It's very, very impressive. Chief McKern for our mission, vision, and core values.
So when our first executive meeting came in, and I said, let's try something. And I'm really a mission, vision, and core values. And surprisingly enough, these guys went, really? So instead of homework assignment, I'm amazed to tell you 4 chiefs can come together in 1 week and can come up with a mission, vision, and core values. So our mission is to provide excellent emergency services through joint collaborations. Our vision is through dedication and pride and strive to develop joint collaborative programs that enhance emergency services for our citizens. And then the core values are really there. Trust, commitment, and integrity has been Central's mantra for forever and ever. You can ask anyone around. I think it's even on our bathroom walls. It's the same trust, commitment, and integrity. But we added respect, excellence, and accountability so that we now have 6 total for the executive committee. So they worked hard. Thank you to the folks that put that together. And again, it didn't take long. This is the fastest I've ever put something together when we have mission, vision, and core values as well.
In closing, we talked about what do we need to do today or what can we do today. We can answer all additional questions, concerns the public, fire commissioners, and the fire district members may have, and that's absolutely a priority. We're adopting at each fire district board vote to approve and sign the ILA so that we can start moving forward on the formal piece of this and enacting it to the benefit of all involved. And then decide how often the boards of commissioners need to meet as a joint board to ensure transparency and oversight of the interlocal agreement, because this is a global piece. Our elected legislative boards need to make sure that the citizens are represented appropriately, and this body needs to convene every so often to ensure that is occurring. So with that said, we bring it to a conclusion. One major piece we spoke of throughout this whole process is Mason County has significant identity in their fire departments through years of family participation, generations of families keeping fire departments afloat, and it's very important that these don't go away. Hence the Fire District 6, doing business as Fire District 6 in the Central Mason family. Proud members of Central Mason, Fire District 6 patch on the door, proud member of Central Mason on the truck. Fire District 11, the Shelton Fire Department, Fire District 5 and Mason 6 come together to make Central Mason Fire and EMS. And I hope someday there's 6, there's 8, there's 10 families that come together to make Central Mason Fire and EMS. There's no value in a catchy name when people don't feel like they're represented and getting value out of it. I think that's the major piece here that we've shown through this synergy that has developed so quickly is the opportunity to move forward with that trust. District 6, our 3 words, pride, honor, and integrity. And it almost came out the exact same way with Central Mason and Mason 11 said it. Our interests are very close, our values are very close. And some programs are a little further than others, but through this, we'll all get there together at the same pace. That is the end of our show. I appreciate it, and now we'll kick it back to Commissioner Taylor for the next spot on the agenda.
Next item on the agenda is the action opportunity for District 6 and 11 and Central Mason Fire and EMS. We have
paperwork over there.
You have questions at all? So what we have for you is we have 3 sets. So in other words, we get 3 and then one set will go home each. And it takes until then everybody would have each one of those as well.
If I may jump in, is District 6 the first organization with an action opportunity?
Yes, sir.
To our board,
I'll turn it over to your board.
yep, to our board, the District 6 Commissioners have any questions, concerns, or thoughts?
No, I see it. Total, I think it's a total win for the people. That's my main concern.
On October 25th, we had a regular business meeting. At that meeting, our board motion to enter into this ILA, so I will read that from the minutes. At the regular scheduled October 25th, 2016 business meeting of the Board of Fire Commissioners, Commissioner Mike Sheets motion to authorize Board Chair, Commissioner Tim Whitman, to sign on behalf of the board entering Mason County Fire District 6 into an interlocal agreement with Central Mason Fire EMS and Fire District, Mason County Fire District 11. Commissioner Richard Heinrich seconded the motion. A discussion was held on the motion. The vote was all in favor. The motion is passed. So Commissioner Tim Whitman is authorized to sign the ILA on behalf of Fire District 6. I think we got 3 of them to do. We just need to do 3 along.
Great for Central Mason.
Do it.
Okay. So how would you read what our minutes were for Central Mason?
Yes, sir. On October 19th, our board met. We discussed the Tri-District ILA. Commissioner Paul members moved to approve the collaboration agreement. Commissioner Doherty seconded the unanimous vote.
Okay. Questions from the Central Mason Board?
Questions?
Okay.
So our board actually has not taken a motion on this yet. This is obviously for them to be able to see it. So should you guys any questions on this, or you want to take a motion on this?
I'll move.
I'll second.
There's a motion seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Oh, I got pen for the.
Some more keeping, so they're out. I'd like, if I could ask an official question to the timekeeper, how do I do? A little heavy, that's kind of my thing.
Is that one we're on next?
Yeah, we'll be,
So that will keep that one.
okay.
One more item on the agenda, and that's to establish the frequency of our joint commissioner meetings. see, that's gonna be fun, but none.
Yeah. In the executive committee, it brought up many times, what kind of schedule should we try to put our 3 boards on to report back to them as a body, so that everybody's hearing the same message at the same time? And we discussed quarterly, we discussed every 6 months, things I think in the short term, maybe the first year quarterly might be appropriate. Chief McKern,
I'm sorry.
your idea on to meet quarterly as a joint board?
Well, if we could get maybe the chairs, could be quarterly, instead of the whole entire board. Sometimes that's going to be easier to do that. That's a thought.
I would make that motion that we meet quarterly for
Okay.
updates, or more or less frequently, depending on how much business there is.
I'll second that one.
You clarify motion, please. Are the chairs meeting or the whole board?
The chairs, that's what you said.
The chairs.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the complete boards meet, you know,
Let's do it annually.
at least.
I think twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the chairs could be quarterly, and the board be semi-annually.
Okay. So quarterly the chairs, and you want to rephrase your motion? So quarterly the
Okay, I'll
chairs,
amend the motion
and then they'd like to all
To-
boards should be able to.
have the chairs of the 3 boards meet every 3 months or quarterly, and full boards meet every 6 months.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion? Motion's been made for the board chairs to meet quarterly and the full boards to meet semi-annually. All in favor? Any opposed? Being none, motion carries. Now we just need to set when the first one's going to meet.
Now, refresh my memory, does the ILA go into effect today or in January?
It's in effect now. They're in effect. Every organization has the opportunity to remove themselves from the interlocal agreement with 60 days notice. Free and clear. That was another piece of the protection where nobody felt that they were locked in. Once District 6 got our hands on you, you couldn't be out for 2 years. 60 days written notice, you remove yourself from the work group and continue to do business as District 6 or whatever other represented organization you are in the group.
So we need a motion on that also. My recommendation is we have the first full board meeting in January, and then the chairs meet again in April, and so on and so on.
I agree. I'll second that.
Any discussion? Motion made that the chairs will meet starting in January. We need a date in January, or a good date.
Sure.
And then the full
Well,
board.
I would like the first full board meeting to be in January, so as these guys get going in this, we can all meet fairly soon, but then go into the 3-month rotation after 3 and 6.
Okay.
Motion been made that the first full board meeting will be in January. First full board meeting will be in January, and then every 3 months, the chairs will meet, and then again in July. I guess that would be
The July would be the second.
the second time for the full board. Gentlemen, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? None being opposed, the motion carries.
So the question for you guys, you meet the second Monday, and I know we have to do an evening meeting because a couple of your schedules obviously are working. Would there be any objection? I don't know what's on your January meeting. Can we tag on to your meeting and just be at your house and get it done that way? That seems to work for everybody. So second Monday, does that work for everybody?
Second
If we could
Monday
even,
in
if you guys
January.
only meet at 6.
We'll have, we got one commissioner that's going to be on vacation, but we'll have a majority of our board there.
Okay. So do we want to do it an hour later? What's your guys', because I know you don't have.
We're about an hour.
What's that?
We're about an hour and a half, so.
So we'll do it 7?
7 p.m. would be great.
Okay, so 7 o'clock, second Monday in January. Does that work for all boards?
That'll be January 9th.
January 9th.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Location,
11/1.
11/1.
It'd be real tight for me, I have another meeting that
And again, 6 is gonna, 6 is only gonna have 2 as well. So if there's we can't all make it, we'll certainly try, but I thought we'd try that just to kind of see we're kind of working right in with the same commission.
We take the meetings too, so we can ship them to anybody that wants that, we really need a piece of local government.
All right, that being said, the meeting will be 7. Is that, you guys need the 6?
Yes.
So we'll plan on meeting at 7 o'clock, January 9th at 11:00.
Okay.
Okay, any other business?
Chiefs? Okay. Comment from the audience?
Yeah, we have. I got to turn around. Any public comment, any questions, comments?
Most of you have less hair on the back of your head.
There's 108 stitches on the back.
I would say this comes at a cost, and that's commitment, and I see the commitment of 3 boards, and the comment would be congratulations.
Thank you. I think we need to keep moving ahead.
And I just want to commend the chiefs who have been working so hard putting this together. And all their efforts have been top notch.
Appreciate that.
Here,